good enough. Oh, I meant to do this first. Well, that's fine, I guess. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome channel. I am Captain Quasar, and this is the first installment, edition, whatever, of the unofficial H3 waiting room. I just thought this was like a decent idea for me because I need some more content, more stuff to talk about, and the show is ripe for content. So, gonna talk about the H3 show, gonna talk about, we're just gonna show some different goofs and gaffes, different gags I've seen on the internet, different things. But try and tie it all back in, you know? And that was kind of the point of this first thing. That's why I had this. It's the baby Rizzler with Polly Walnuts. It's just good. It's a good image. But I had some more Instagram stuff. Some that I think are just funny, and then some that are more relatable. Oh god, my cat just jumped on the... This is Cole Unger. Call him Coley for short. Got anything to say? But yeah, this is two kids fighting. What about that? This is off to a terrible start. Oh god, that's so loud. But yeah, oh god, she decked him. Yeah, this is a pretty popular account, honestly. And these kids are going to be champions one day. I just know it. Ooh. This next one. Pause that. This is something that I think more people need to see. Let it pause.
Dog like a 101 said they killed his only son because of insufficient funds. He was sobbing, he was mopping, way belligerent and drunk, talking out his head, philosophing on what the Lord had done. He said, Kate, can you pray for me? It's been a fucked up day for me. I know that you're anointed, show me how to overcome. He was looking for some closure, hoping I could bring him closer to the spirit. Well, my spirit.
Ooh. It just completely dropped out. Oh, are you joking? I think it's playing on my other headphones. Shouldn't be. Wait, what? It says it's coming through for you guys. Oh, there it goes.
This is how I feel. If
I don't know why. It just, that was so weird.
Somebody's getting killed. Show me what you do for love, loyalty, and passion. Love.
Some people like H3, some people don't. I don't know why it keeps pausing on its own. But I think overall, it's just a content trove. And when it comes to like personal philosophy or whatever, I'd say I align pretty well. So the content would kind of overlap in general anyways. And this just gives me more to talk about, more things to see. But yeah, this guy was just someone talented I saw. This was something I thought was, here's something just crazy. And then we'll talk about Candace Owen. This is just insane. There's a guy in there. And you'd think he's dead, right? But he's not. He gets out. He does more of this stuff. Watch it again. I don't know how this guy isn't dead. If we're being completely honest. That's him screaming at the bottom. Something probably like, that was awesome. He also jumped into a frozen lake.
Жека, как ты? Братуха, давай. Ты это сделал. Жека, как ты? Братуха, давай. Ты это сделал.
See, this is real Russian content.
Жека, как ты? Братуха,
Maybe they're not
давай.
so bad.
Ты это сделал.
The people are great. It's always good to have something to listen to. Man, I'm dropping frames like crazy. What? Bro. Why is it the one day I'm trying to do this, I'm having connection issue? Oh, this is great. I literally did a stream yesterday that was basically fine. This said I just dropped frames. I don't know why it's on here now. It's saying it's fine, but
it's crazy how Candace Owens' fan base is now attacking her the way she has attacked other people. Calling her trans the same way she tried to attack Michelle Obama. Chef's kiss. And now the leopards are on the way and we can only sit back and enjoy the show. But it does make sense.
I think it's funny because it proves the point that you don't know what, I mean, how often have people gone, you look like a boy. Like when you were a little kid, how many little boys and little girls were like, you look like a boy. Well, you look like a girl. Like, it's so often. I saw this hilarious comment though. Oh, I probably won't be able to find it on here. It definitely didn't get a lot of likes. Well, this was a good one. I thought you were showing me a pic of a little Bow Wow. But someone said, I guess we're making fun of textured hair now. And I just thought that was kind of funny because you can't tell what texture her hair is in this. Like, she could have her hair straight in this. But regardless, I wonder if she has like a really tight, just low ponytail in this, actually. Now that I'm looking at it again. Does she really just have the buzz cut? Maybe she had lice. That is always an option. Interesting stuff. Just another little gag for you.
Taco Bell often, but I did today. And you know what? I just gotta say, I have one burrito left in this box I ordered from there, right? And it's the end of the day and I got hungry again. Instead of eating this burrito, I heated up a potato instead, you know, to mix it up a bit. This box came with like 4 different burritos and tacos. They're all named different things. They taste exactly the same. Now,
if you got this guy as a wingman, he'd scare off every
rice,
girl in a
beans,
5-mile
cheese,
vicinity.
and then whatever meat. And the only thing that changes is what vessel will you use to transport the food into your mouth. Now, would you like a small tortilla or a long tortilla, aka burrito? Don't get me wrong though, I love me some Mexican food. You know, go to an authentic place, it'll have its own little flavors.
I forgot
Still
about
kind of the
this
same
one,
ingredients though, but it has nice flavors. But I go to Taco Bell probably once every 6
Why are there
months.
so
like
many
even today, I
cuts?
was like, ooh, I haven't had that in a while.
And he also
I'll
wanted
try
to
the
show that
newest
guy. He
burrito,
totally
and I'm like,
wanted
what
to
the
show that
hell
guy
is
in the
even that?
background.
It's the same shit. It's the same price as a good Mexican place. You know what I'm saying? I don't get Taco Bell often, but I did today. And
That looked like this. He took this video over the course of like the span of at least several hours. From the beginning of his shift, he decided to start eating Taco Bell until the end of his shift. Because this looks like way brighter of a day, and then at the end, it's like about to be
I had
nightfall.
one burrito left in this box I ordered from there, right?
Whatever. Great guy. Here's another little.
This is my cover of Toxicity by System of a Down.
This is quite possibly the best cover of all time.
Conversion software version 7.0. Looking at life through the eyes of a tire hub. Eating seeds as a pastime activity.
This is going to get the video taken down. It's too close to the original.
Of our city. You! What do you own the world? How do you own disorder? Disorder! Now! Somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep. Somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep.
It's telling you this stream doesn't exist.
Disorder! Disorder! This is my cover of Toxicity by System of...
What is it? What do you mean it's telling you this stream doesn't exist? Has it crashed out? Is my internet really shitting itself this bad? Amazing.
Down.
I'm so confused. Oh, what? Am I disconnected from... What is happening? Did I disconnect completely? Ding dong ding. Still connected to that. What just happened? Okay, whatever. Well, you're here now, and that's all that matters. Don't click away. It'll be gone for good. I think that's all I had to show for this. Oh, there was this too. Probably. YouTube, it does crash like 9 times out of 10. I keep having issues with my stream, and I'm always wondering if it's YouTube, if it's the internet, if it's my computer. It always feels like there's got to be at least one issue. But yeah, I think that's about it for the short little stuff I had. Yeah, it was about 15 minutes. That's kind of what I was thinking. So now we'll get into the more important stuff. Ooh.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They're pedophiles. They rape kids. They're evil. They want to hurt you. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. That's what I've been saying. They not like us. We know you're evil, globalists. Telling the public, they not like us. 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 Klaus Schwab not like us. King Charles not like us. Barack Obama, they are not like us. And there's double meaning to that. They not like us. They don't like us, and they're not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They're not with us. They not like us.
You know, maybe he's speaking the truth. I think he's finally gone off the hinges. He's lost all his money. I thought he wasn't allowed to do his show anymore. Why is he still just doing it? Wasn't that part of like the whole lawsuit that he was in? Let's restart this. So this is a fake lawyer, Mike from PA, calls up real lawyers of the housekeeper that is suing Ethan to give them bad legal advice on what constitutes defamation. Ethan, during Keffel's response stream, listen, with peace and love, I do not. Okay, cool. Let's see what Mike from PA has to say. Ooh.
Like, he doesn't know what Turkish people look like, so he's just calling Hassan's mom a Hispanic lady. Also, the idea of, like, he's just making bullshit accusations to distract from the fact he's being sued for being a terrible employer. What a fucking scumbag. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm sure they know this, but I'm gonna call up the attorneys of that lawsuit and let them know, just to make sure they're, like, I'm assuming they're aware, but honestly,
maybe it's because it's just too far in the news cycle now, but I tried to look for the lawsuit myself, and maybe I'm just an idiot and I couldn't find it, and Mike from PA is a genius and he could. Yeah, I was looking for it and I couldn't find. All I kept finding were news articles for like news article after news article, and most of them were AI generated. But he apparently was able to find the whole thing with their phone numbers.
it might not be. And I think Ethan's, like, you know, his show would be kind of useful for them. So that I'm gonna do that real quick.
Or a much needed
All right,
vacation.
chat. I gave a call over to her. I gave a call. I talked to them, and they're gonna be looking into it. I just figured no one would actually reach out to the attorneys and be like, "Hey, the guy you're suing is, like, defaming your client and talking about the case. So you should probably take a look at that." So I gave them a heads up. Honestly, I should do, like, an H3 snark day. It would be kind of funny.
I'm confused to what he even told them. Nice. I forgot about that. They were talking about it in one of the other podcasts that he failed the bar and became or he tried to run for office or something, but instead he was a lawyer even though he failed the bar. Real genius. Truly ahead of the curve.
Reason.
Are you on stream?
Yeah.
And the truly important stuff. Papa Gut
Reason.
is finally going to get his Teddy Fresh.
Yeah, I am on stream. I'm calling you because I went to take a piss, and fucking Teddy Fresh messaged me asking my size.
Okay.
So should I give it to them? They want to prepare a package for me.
Hold on 1 minute. Thanks. What was that? Sorry, babe.
I said Teddy Fresh wants to prepare, like, a package for me.
Hell yeah.
See, this lore goes back a long time because Papa Gut is also someone that I watch. Papa Gut has been talking about H3 for, like, probably maybe 2 years, a year, probably closer to 2 years. And towards the beginning, Ethan had said that they were going to send him some Teddy Fresh, some merchandise, some drip. And they never did. This was the biggest drama that Ethan just avoided by finally getting his the merch sent to him. You got to watch out for that kind of stuff. Really do. Now, this is what people were really, really talking about yesterday, because Ethan posted on his story this. So someone on Reddit said, "Small example of why Hassan's community are naive as fuck. They really think his mom is the one cooking all that chicken, as if she's not a sentient being with a life of her own." For those of you who don't know, Hassan, the socialist streamer, well, he had said that his mom cooks him his meals. She comes and delivers it to him, and it's usually just some chicken and rice or whatever. But they're basically saying, you know, she's got her own life. What would be the point? What would be the point of telling your mom, "Hey, come and live with me, but you're gonna be my personal chef"? That would be a little bit condescending, I feel. But then they say, Ethan obviously implied Hassan told him he has a personal chef that he doesn't want people to know about because he claims to be a socialist and doesn't want people to know that he's hiring help. And then Ethan just outright says it and says that he met her, that he outright met her. And that's why I find the Mike from PA clip so funny, because he said in that, he's saying he doesn't know what Turkish people look like. So he just sees a Turkish lady and thinks that she's speaking Spanish. He thinks that it's a Hispanic lady. But so she was a lovely Hispanic lady, doesn't speak English. She cleans and cooks, works full time, I believe. Hassan grunts and uses Google to talk to her. Unless Hassan's using Google to talk to his own mother, Mike from PA is just an idiot. And I find it even more funny that it's so clearly stated. And I think this is the only point where Ethan says it outright. Like, I don't know why he could have been confused at all as to how he misconstrued Hassan's mom for being a Hispanic lady. And yeah, it's like, I don't know, how naive do you have to, like, I'm just using the words from the Reddit post. How stupid do you have to be to actually think that he's listening to some lady talk? She's speaking Turkish and he's going to think, oh, that sounds like Spanish to me. They live in Los Angeles. He probably hears Spanish all the time. I'm sure maybe there's, I've never heard Turkish. I don't know. Maybe there are very close similarities, but I would honestly take a bet that they're a bit different. At least to someone who's heard Spanish before. But yeah, so Ethan does make a point in this post where he says that she should be getting a percent of the profit, because he's just trying to use Hassan's logic as a socialist, that as a socialist, Hassan says that he gives a percentage of his wealth to all the people that work for him, whether it be viewers, his, I don't even know, his merchandise, because he says he doesn't hire his mods. Because he said, how am I going to fire Frogan? So he's not paying Frogan to be a mod. So she's not getting a cut, even though she works for him as a mod. That is, even if you're not paying her, that is at least a position as an unpaid intern or something. And even so, I mean, you should probably be paying him. You're a millionaire, right? How much of that is going to all of the things that you believe in? To where you can't pay your mods, because isn't Frogan constantly on? I'm pretty sure Frogan is constantly on Twitch begging for her rent money. That's like one thing I'm pretty sure people keep talking about, is that she's on. Maybe she doesn't do it anymore. Yeah, Turkish can't be more different than Spanish. Thank you. A European can actually tell me. But that's like the point I'm making. Is it's just I don't understand how Mike from PA made that point. Can make that even mistake. He knows it makes him look like a charlatan, yada yada yada. There was one more that Ethan posted that someone had shared. Ethan made a bet. Oh, and I wanted to say that Ethan's been saying a lot of things at this point where, if they're not true, Hassan could just sue him for defamation. He could sue him for defamation, get a bunch of money because he's lying, right? And then just give that money to, a Palestinian organization or something. Do it to whatever cause you see fit. Sue him because it's blatantly false. You could prove that it's false. And this is like a clear-cut thing where if this is untrue, you could prove it so easily. He said that you grunt and use Google to talk to her, that you have a woman who cleans and cooks for you that is a Hispanic lady. If you don't, if it's really your mom, that seems like completely provable. Like, caught red-handed type of stuff. But then Ethan takes it a step farther and even says, I'll even take it a step further. I bet that me, Ethan Klein, the capitalist, pays his housekeeper more than Hassan. Ours has health insurance, visual, dental, 401k, paid vacation, and sick days, plus a very good salary. I'll donate $100,000 to charity if Hassan can prove he pays his housekeeper more than me. I just find this funny too, because me talking about this, Turkish sounds more like Russian. Okay, that makes sense. No, I was gonna wait. Is Turkey around the Caucasus Mountains? Because I feel like that whole region has kind of Russian influence, to where all of their kind of cultures aren't similar, but they definitely have influence. So it would make sense that the languages would be similar. But I do find it funny, like someone like me talking about this is just talking about some millionaires having some beef, which is comical. Why should I care at all? But hey, I'm here for petty drama. Internet drama is way better than talking about all the real stuff in the world that people want to avoid the truth about. You know, we got UFC fighters talking about. I was talking about this on my stream 2 days ago. I guess I could talk more about it now, but the UFC fighter Bryce Mitchell was talking about. You might need to turn off the stream, Vidad. He was talking about how the Holocaust is right. He was saying this guy is a true moron, saying that Hitler was a good guy. He didn't say the Holocaust was right. Sorry. He said Hitler was a good guy before he did meth. As if he could know when Hitler started doing meth. But then he also said that Japanese internment camps were good during World War II. He said that they were just work camps during World War II. They didn't actually have concentration camps. They were just work camps that they didn't have enough food because it was war times. I tried to find, there was a clip from the Jackson podcast. Let me see if I can find it. The Jackson podcast had him on, and I couldn't find the full thing. And I was trying to find the full clip because the Jackson podcast had him on and kind of just told him you're wrong. But apparently, because it all comes down to his idiocy is beyond what we could ever believe. He thinks that the earth is flat, but he also believes the sky isn't real, I think, or something like that. And he thinks that the government's going to send down aliens to put us in concentration camps so that they can get away with their agenda or something. You know, great stuff. But let me see if I can find the clip. Someone re-uploaded it. I might need to watch this whole thing right now. Oh, someone re-uploaded it. Let's go. Let's go. This is great stuff.
All right. Now, my first time meeting you, and we from the same area.
All right.
And I got to ask you, what the fuck is wrong with you, brother? We got to talk about this.
Right.
You know, I've been known to say some fucked up shit in my life. And shit I don't mean. I'm a comedian. I like to joke around and stuff like that. But, you know, you're a fighter. I'm a fighter. And we're used to being able to say whatever the fuck we want and stuff like that. But sometimes we just got to, like, really, like, think about what we say and then think if we should let that shit get out there. And I've heard, since I've heard all this stuff, I've heard some stuff about you. And a lot of people say, like, you know, they really, like, listen to your stuff, like you with the Bible and the flat earth and stuff like that. I'm very interested in that type of stuff, you know. I'm born.
Rampage just gave in and said that he believes in the flat earth. How sad.
Born again guy, you know, I'm not religious anymore, and I believe.
He said he's a born again guy that isn't religious.
Born again guy, you know, I'm not religious anymore, and I believe the earth is flat and stuff like that. I do.
He just straight up said it.
I believe the earth is the way God made it and stuff like that. So
he believes in the firmament or whatever.
I was more interested in talking to you about this. I was very excited about that, but I'm not excited about the stuff that I hear is going viral.
Right, and first off, thank y'all for having me here today. I can tell you're not happy with me just because of your tone. I've watched you since I was a kid, Rampage, so I know I've never seen you that serious before. You know, it's really unfortunate that this is the first time that we meet, but also God has a plan. And I want to spend a very brief amount of time talking about what I said. because of the severity of it. I wish I didn't have to talk about it at all, but I feel like the severity of it being this is the first time I've shown my face since I said it. I do want to.
I also don't know. I need to check real quick. Because he said it on his own podcast called what was it? MM Arkansas? Is that what it was? It was something like that. Maney, Arkansas? Is that what it is? It was something like that, but he said it on his own podcast, and it basically just flatlined his whole podcast. He couldn't do it anymore.
Talk about it. First things first. I said word for word, I do not support. I am not a Nazi. I said it word for word. You can go back and watch it. And
I think they cut that out. I think he said, I don't support the Holocaust. I am not a Nazi. He did say that, but he also said, I think Hitler was a good guy. He was trying to get rid of the Jews because the Jews were trying to queer out the people in Germany. And I think that's a crazy thing to say. I think that is an insane perspective to have. Even if you don't agree with homosexuality, and I've started to just come to this whole perspective where, I don't know, I don't think you can have a genuine argument against homosexuality because there are over 1,500 species that express homosexual relationships or same-sex relations, whatever you want to call it. There are the Bible, the only places where it shows that it says anything about being against homosexuality are usually like translation errors, where the main one is no man shall lie with another man, when in reality it was like no man shall, I think the quote was from the original Hebrew, it translates to like no man shall lie as in the position of a woman or something. And then there are other lines about homosexuality that are in certain interpretations taken to mean either male prostitution or I forget what the what was it? It was I was reading this whole article about it, but so like theologically there isn't much about homosexuality, and if you want to take like the natural order as like the reference, it is found in nature quite a bit. And then if you want to say that it doesn't make sense socially, because that's like was his argument, is that they were destroying the culture, they want to queer out the kids. And I think that is an insane thing to say, because homosexual couples adopt at a higher rate, and so they adopt the children that are given up by like heterosexual couples. And so that is just it's like a cognitive dissonance to have, to think that it somehow doesn't make sense or doesn't work, and to then use that to justify even more like hatred towards it, to where you think that it's okay to then put not even just the gay people, but another group of people that you think are promoting it into concentration camps. It's insane.
And
people just clipped up some of the stuff.
I said was a good guy, and then I said after that I said before he committed all the atrocities, but they didn't play.
No, you said before he started doing meth, and maybe you did fix it later. They don't actually talk to scientists because they will be proven wrong. I mean, I just don't understand, because I was having a conversation, and I just started like I almost like start appealing to like doing like an appeal to emotion, where it's just like, I've known you for so long. How are you going to believe some random thing you heard over me when I'm telling you I've done the research? So if I've done the research on something and I'm telling you it, why can you not then accept it when you've known me for longer, but you're accepting something from somebody who I can prove to you has either lied before, doesn't understand what they're talking about, or a whole list of other things. People just never accept. people appeal to a confirmation bias that they hold. It's hard to get people to address their own internal biases.
The whole
I can't find his
podcast. Okay, so I did say he was a good guy, but I was saying before he committed all the atrocities.
Brother, you don't know him, right? You don't know the severity of what he did to the world, obviously.
And I watched this video 2 days ago where someone was like, "Do you know him? Do you know him? How can you say that? You don't know if he was a bad guy. You don't know him either." We have the documentation. It's like there's evidence from people that did know him, and we know he wasn't a good people are really, really trying to fuel anti-Semitism, and it infuriates me. Because I just hate hatred. And I think that people need to remember that a simple assault charge, a simple battery charge, it's not that bad. Don't worry about it that much, guys. If someone's doing a Nazi salute or something in front of you, don't use a weapon, but God gave you these.
Obviously, I could tell you don't know for you to be able to even relaxedly say that word, that he was a good guy. And I'm not even going to give him the benefit of saying his name, but those extremist ideologies, the things he did to, millions of people, are some of the most disgusting, most evil things the world ever seen. Now, we're not going to give you a platform today to talk about anything that even remotely supports that.
No,
we're not going to give you a platform
I don't want
to justify what you said. And matter of fact, and me and Rampage talked about this, we're not even going to give you a platform to explain yourself on that. I personally just feel with the things that he did and the millions of people that died, there's no justification pre or post whatever you did say. Ain't nobody a good guy. And we as people, and me as a fan of MMA, right? As a fighter, I watch all your fights, right? You bring the Bible in the cage. You did some amazing things before that podcast. Rampage is an icon to me. I look up to Rampage. So when Rampage gets serious, even when he said, "Listen, man, I got a full-time Jewish chef." And Rampage, the only reason why he was accepting of even doing this podcast, we already had pre-booked you before that show, and we've been trying to get you on for about a year, right? Mm-hmm.
And this was another part that people were kind of making me irritated about, because people were saying, because people were getting mad at Bear, this guy, they call him Bear. I don't know what his actual name is, but they were saying he was acting improperly by telling this guy, "You're wrong for this," and like shutting him down and not letting him speak his truth. When in reality, all he's doing is telling him, "Hey, bro, this is our show. We've been wanting to have you on, and I don't want to talk about that because I think you're completely wrong, and I don't want to even platform anybody who wants to speak about it. Let's talk about fighting. And that's what I'm wondering, is how long this is actually going to last, because I don't need to watch a full podcast of them talking about his UFC career. He got slept by what's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. He got slept, and he has one of the worst knockouts ever. Dude got dropped. He was seizing on the floor. It was pretty bad.
So Rampage said, I want to be able to see him face to face and explain to him the severity of what he did. Right. So at least if you didn't, you do understand what you did damages people's relationships with their family.
It's similar because it's the idea of, I'm doing my own personal research, so I know more. I know more than everybody else. It's ridiculous. You only know as much as you can learn, and even then, you only know as much as the people that taught you. There's no way you can look at everything from every side, and that's why you have to have like you need to have mental integrity and be able to really not just generate your own thoughts, but be able to analyze those thoughts further so that you don't go down, dark rabbit holes.
Over arguments, damages society, wasting time on things they shouldn't be talking about. We should be coming together as a world, but we should never justify the persecution and the extremism that we've seen in the past from that man or any sort of that nature, right? So
right, I totally agree, brother. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to say, I literally said in my podcast, I don't support.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Nazi. And I said that, and I'm glad that you got to let me repeat that.
How long have you had that podcast?
That was my first episode. And here's the thing, guys, is, you know, before he did all of that stuff is what I was talking about, guys.
Yeah,
I'm
we're not even
we understand. Listen,
I'm not denying anybody's suffering, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
We
I'm
understand
literally
that.
not denying anybody's suffering.
We understand.
And I wish
But he did, because he said that the Japanese internment camps were justified. He kept calling them Japs too, which is crazy. But he said the Japanese internment camps were justified, and that the Holocaust was just work camps, and that's why the millions of people died. I think he doesn't believe in gas chambers. He doesn't believe in the mass, murder campaigns. They're just like, he wants to say like, and he was telling, I don't know why he isn't saying it now, but he was telling his buddy, like, I did my own research. You're just believing your indoctrination. And that's just kind of, that ain't it. You know what I mean?
Millions of people, over 5 million people died because of him.
a lot of people.
One of the
died.
deadliest wars of
Isn't it 10 million?
all time, World War II.
Bear needs to do his research.
Probably over 50 million people, 3 to 5%
It
of the
was the
population died.
deadliest war, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
you
was the
are aware
deadliest
that even trying to justify that, you got to move past that, brother. Right?
No. Listen,
you can't even.
listen. We understand. We understand it's your first podcast and stuff like that. And what you got to understand about this business right here, you got to be careful what you say, because people will take it out of context and they will clip it.
That's what I believe happened, but I shouldn't have said it in the first place.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said it.
You should have said it in the first place. And there's other things you said in that clip, and I'm not here to twist a knife. I mean, you did it to yourself. I'm just here to tell you, even the other things you did, you have to do the education and understand the severity of you as an athlete and someone who the MMA community put you on a pedestal because of the performance and what you did for the sport as a fighter. You have a voice.
Yeah.
And if you don't use that voice for good, not all free speech needs to be said. You know what I mean? Like, I believe in free speech, but I believe in free speech that does good for the community. And just having free speech to say idiotic things and damaging communities of our country and damaging people and damaging religions is not always needed.
I've seen you on TikTok and stuff and on a lot of podcasts, and you speaking out about, saying the flat earth. I don't really speak out about it as much. If somebody asks me.
Okay, they're going to keep going. I thought that cut meant that they were going to stop. I thought he was about to be like, so I heard you speak about how you hate grappling. I know you're a wrestler, but I just heard that you really dislike. But they're about to talk about flat Earth too. Okay.
I tell them my opinions and stuff on it. That's why I was, like I said before. How did you learn about that? How you learn about that?
Talk about him getting knocked out. That was pretty good.
Sean Hibbler makes really good videos. That was a good influence of mine. I don't know if y'all have heard of Sean Hibbler before.
I'm not familiar. I've probably seen his videos, but I don't know his name. I'm weird like that. I have a hard time remembering people's names.
Does YouTube videos explaining his theories.
Oh,
yeah, Sean Hibbler. He makes wonderful films. He was the single biggest influence, and then I had conversation with a couple close friends. But really, when you become a flat earther, it just kind of clicks for you one day. And for me, what made it click is just staring at the sun and realizing that it's not 93 million miles.
Well, that gives it. That oh God, that makes so much sense. Oh my God. He said, what made it make sense was staring at the sun. One day I was just looking up at the sun, sunning, and oh God, the CTE is so real. He needs to do what that one guy did and go to the whatever it was, the North Pole or the South Pole or whatever, and see the 360, the full day sun where it just rotates around.
Miles away. You can tell that we have a local sun, which means it's the same distance from the Earth as the moon. They're both small entities, and they're luminaries. They produce their own light.
I know I was just laughing at him, but as someone who has looked at the sun before, I'd like to disagree that just based on observation alone, you would be able to tell that the sun is farther away. Just based on looking at it, you can tell that you're looking at a farther distance. I'm just saying. As someone with experience.
The moon does not reflect sunlight. The moon produces its own light. It's very small and close to the Earth. And I figured that out by looking at the sun on a cloudy day and looking at the angle of the sun rays as they project through the clouds.
You know how I became a flat earther? I think it was after during 2020, and I was bored and stuff, and I
would love it if he just went. Well, it was after this big fight. I got hit with a big overhand right. It all made sense.
When I became Christian, I read the Bible and talked about the firmament. And I didn't understand what the firmament was. I didn't understand the Bible, but it was always in the back of my head. Then one time I was watching this video and it said something about the firmament. Then I started doing research. And I was like, I didn't believe until I came across this one part of research where they had an emergency landing. This Asian lady got on the flight from, I can't remember, somewhere in Asia, Taiwan, somewhere. And she wanted to, she was flying to LAX. And they had to do an emergency landing in Alaska, flying from, come across the come from Asia. I was like, even me, I don't know much about geography. I'm like, that's not an emergency landing coming from that way.
It should be further to go to Alaska. It should be out of your way.
Yeah, but they flew.
See, Dad, this is why you're a genius. If they are small, you see it change size as it goes around. Exactly. The moon is closer to us and is smaller because it has a fluctuation in size as it, moves in and out. Sometimes there's a huge moon, sometimes there's really small moons. Not moons, but you know what I mean. The moon is very small at times. And so it's just, it's very obvious. These guys don't know what they're talking about.
But they flew, but really, they fly right over Alaska.
Because the map is distorted. Yeah. We don't live on a globe. It's a flat circle. That's right. Yeah.
Right. My common sense. And I'm not the smartest guy.
I'm not either.
My common sense, I was like, we've been lied to about something. So that's when I started looking more into it, and then I started believing it. And then I started hearing people like you speak out, and Eddie Bravo, and I started looking into it. But I just feel like, this is my personal opinion. So I just feel like some people, some people that don't understand something, they'll look at the people that's knowledgeable about it, and you feel like you confident about it. They look at us like we're idiots.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just get, I'm the type of person, I get tired of explaining myself. So I try to tell my friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get the same way to where I really get tired of explaining it, and I do like talking about it, but I don't like being combative about it.
Yeah.
And here's the most important thing about flat Earth is you have to understand why they're lying. That's what I want people to know. I do care about the shape of the earth because God made it a specific way. He made it an exact shape, and God don't make mistakes. There's no coincidences. God made it. Literally, he says in Psalms, I believe it's 91, the firmament showeth the handiwork of the God. He literally made the earth flat, put the firmament there, put the luminaries, the sun and the moon and the stars there to prove his own existence. You can't look at the way that the earth truly is if you know that it's
That's why he made the banana the shape it is. So his work.
a flat earth and you know what the firmament is. You can't look at that and say anything but a God made that. God made the earth so that we would look at it, marvel at it, and marvel at his beauty and his creation.
He made it so that we would manipulate and lie to our people about it. That's what he chose. That's what you're saying.
But when you start lying about what the universe is and saying, oh, it's all expanding, it's all this and that, and it's 14 billion years old, the purpose of that lie is to get people to not believe the Bible. The Bible literally tells us the stars, the sun, and the moon are here for days, seasons, months, and signs. So they're lying about the shape of the earth because they want the Bible to look incorrect.
The Bible, I'm sorry to tell you this, but the Bible has so many mistranslations, so many, it's written, the original texts are taken from ancient Hebrew and ancient Aramaic and stuff, and these texts are not a one-to-one from what is written, even if those original texts were divinely inspired. They're not the same anymore. And the whole thing is about picking and choosing your if you really want to be a holy religious man, I feel like any high-ranking religious official will tell you that it's not about reading everything as a factual story, but it's about letting the glory of the Lord wash down upon you as you, I just don't understand why you have to have it be factual. Maybe there was a flood. Maybe there was a massive flood that covered the earth, but I doubt that it covered the entire all of the mountains all the way to the top. Maybe there was, you know, it's just we got to think, rationalize.
Correct. And they don't want you to believe in God. They want you to be controlled. What this is all leading to is the mark of the beast. And that's basically where one man controls the whole planet. It's called the Antichrist. And it's going to happen. And I see it happening in our lifetime. What I believe is going to happen, because everything culminates.
He totally thinks it's Elon Musk. Because that was his original point when he was talking about Hitler, was he was talking about how Elon Musk, his point was Elon Musk wasn't doing the Nazi salute because Hitler was a good guy and Elon Musk is evil. Elon Musk, he said, I remember this in the podcast, he said, Elon Musk, not in this podcast, in the original one where he talked about Hitler. This was him trying to explain himself. But in the original, I had talked about it 2 days ago. He had said, Hitler was about freedom. He said Hitler was about freedom. Elon Musk is about control. And I just thought that was the most funny thing ever, because it's just like his whole, just the disconnect there. It's just like, what? But then he thinks that, I'm going to assume that he thinks that Elon Musk is the Antichrist because of Neuralink. And he thinks that's going to be the mark of the beast. You have Neuralink. You have that scar that shows that it's in your brain. But gravity has to exist because buildings and structures use the gravity equation and it works. Why would it work if it's not real? That's a fair point. Don't ask this guy about building structures, though. He also drilled through his nutsack. Genius.
It's into that Antichrist. But if everybody believes in God, the Antichrist can't take over. So society is all one big conspiracy, getting everybody to not believe in God, and so that the world is primed for the Antichrist. When the Antichrist comes, he's going to say, you take this mark in your palm, your right palm, or you put this mark on your head. And if you don't do that, I'm going to kill you. And we see now people putting chips in people's head. We see now digital currency coming along. I'm telling you, when they take cash away, that mark of the beast is right around the corner. So everything that you see in society is leading up to the point where the mark of the beast is going to be implemented. The true Christians are going to have their heads cut off, and the rest of people are going to have some type of chip in their forehead or in their hand. They're going to be controlled.
He's thinking of Neuralink.
That's what we're going towards.
So you do you believe that's already written, that it's going to happen anyway? There's no way to stop that?
Rampage, there is nothing that we can do to stop the mark of the beast. It is already written. It's going to happen. Now, I do believe that we can prolong it. I honestly do believe that. We can prolong.
I think this is where I'm going to end it. He thinks we can prolong our suffering. I don't think they're going to talk about his Hitler stuff anymore.
Bryce's farm.
Mark of the beast. If you truly believe in...
Yo, is this whole podcast about flat Earth?
Where does you talk about your family in a very loving way? Talk about your kid in a very loving way? I know last time you were trying...
You're saying that by me talking about the mark of the beast?
No, I'm just talking about you got to...
Right when I woke him up, and he just went over. It was crazy, right? So I'm the baddest man on the fucking planet at this time.
Okay, they start talking about normal stuff, it sounds like. But for 20 minutes, for the first 25 minutes of this podcast, no wonder they got rid of it. The first half of this podcast, they just talk about flat Earth, well, how the Earth is flat and how they're going to implement the mark of the beast, and how Hitler was a bad guy, but you said bad stuff about it. So at least they believe that Hitler was a bad guy. But this is my evidence. This is my factual evidence that we shouldn't believe UFC fighters. They all have CTE on some level.
Show you how to cut an onion the correct way. At least my way. That's correct.
Look at this, bro.
And this is white onion. So we usually go to Mexican food on Sunday nights, and now we can't go anywhere. We're gonna make our own Mexican food. I'm gonna do chicken enchiladas
Keeps
tonight.
chopping his fucking bottom finger.
So then do preparation. I'll slice all one way.
Look at the blood. Look at the blood all over the onion.
Now I'll slice across in it. Turn around.
He's gonna feed this to his family. He's making a meal for his family right now.
I put it together. All right, let's go.
Yeah, he picked the biggest knife in the cutting block to cut the onion. It's pretty amazing.
How much onion I use? Let's go in at once. The knife's so sharp. I cut myself. Son of a bitch. Not bad. I mean, this knife's just sharp. I cut myself. I haven't cut myself in years.
I don't believe him. But this is just more and more proof that we shouldn't believe Bryce Mitchell. There's no reason to listen to him talk. But here, I did want to. The one thing I wanted to do was look at the podcast from Wednesday now, from Monday, and look at a few things that they talked about. They recently all got my beard style. I've been rocking this for years, just saying. That's why I thought this was a good time to start doing this. But 1 second, I need to call my dad back. He just called me. Oop. Sorry about that. I'm back. Okay. So yesterday they talked about Ethan getting sued.
I started using custom hair care products from Pros.
This isn't what they talked about.
I was using the wrong product.
Hair's super straight. What are you talking about? So he posted that our former housekeeper was fired for being horrifically rude to our boy's nanny, constantly calling her fat and asked when she gained all the weight. I gave her so many warnings, hoping she would just stop, but she didn't. She was part of the family, and we treated her like it. I really do think that's pretty crazy. I think I saw... Need to check Ethan's Instagram. Oh, he posted again. I literally couldn't even say. Let's see if someone posted this on Reddit already. How many minutes ago was this? Real live updates. Live updates of the H3 show. Dun 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 dun. Am I like the first person seeing this? Did Ethan just post it? Oh no, that was 12 hours ago. Oh, never mind. I don't know why I thought that one was new. It was just he made a post where someone was complaining that they said Ethan liberally uses the N-word, which is kind of funny, but then also said that there's a reason. They're like, there's a reason that they don't. People don't want to work with you. It's because you're pro Israel. You're pro you of Gallant. But that was that. I thought they posted more. Was there really nothing else about the... I wish I could find this lawsuit. I wish I wasn't so inept. See what Sportskita says. Here's a tweet. Where'd they source this from? I guess I could just use this as the source. We could look at it. This is what'll turn me against Ethan. This will have me going, no! He hit her? He suplexed his nanny. Who would have thought? I'm confused by this part. Teddy Fresh Inc., California, Corporation, Hila Klein, but then an individual, Ethan Klein. Nothing more than just a corporation to you? So what is this? Violation of Family Rights Act, disability discrimination and violation. Yeah, they talked about most of this, I'm pretty sure, that she was trying to say that, let's get it in their words. On information and belief, at all relevant times, defendant Teddy Fresh Inc. was a California corporation doing business in California. On information and belief, TFI, and was at all times okay. Trying to skim it real quick. Look for buzzwords, you know. No, I'm just kidding. I hate looking at legal documents. They really are just. I read through one about Jacoby Dixon, and actually reading through a legal document takes so long, and the wording is always just. I also have been reading through this, and again, reading legal documentation is awful. Alleges is informed. Because what did this person say? I didn't even read what this person said. Lawsuit filed against Teddy Fresh, Ethan, and Eli. The housekeeper suffered from a hernia, asked for time off for surgery in June for July, but was fired 2 days after telling Eli she needed the time off. I feel like I complained. If you read anything in a bad voice, it makes it sound worse. Treated assets. Fine, I'll just be that guy and read it word for word out loud. Welcome back, Vidad. I'll read it out loud, word for word, like a narc. On information and belief, at all relevant times, defendant Teddy Fresh Inc. was a California corporation doing business in California. I think I can go to this page. On information and belief, TFI is and was at all times relevant owned and operated by defendant Ela Klein and Ethan Klein, collectively the Kleins, each of whom at all times was an officer, director, and or managing agent of TFI and an other person acting on behalf of an employer. Within the meaning of Labor Code, is a subsection 558.1. On information and belief, there is a unity of interest between defendants and each of them, and each acts as an alter ego of the other, and failure to recognize the alter ego relationship would lead to an inequitable result. On information and belief, the Kleins and TFI are and were engaged in one or more of the following: commingled funds and other assets, failed to segregate the funds of the separate entities, engaged in the unauthorized diversion of corporate funds or assets to other than corporate uses, treated assets of the corporations as though they were individual assets, such as by paying personal debts with corporate funds or utilizing corporate funds to purchase assets for individual shareholders with no discernible benefit to the other shareholders, failed to obtain proper authority to issue all stock granted to certain shareholders, allowed one or more individuals to state that he will be personally liable for all the debts of the corporation, failed to follow corporate technicalities such as maintaining proper records, holding regular board and shareholder meetings, and properly electing officials to craft and administer corporate policy, shared owners, directors, and officers with other related or closely held entities, shared office space or business location with other related or closely held entities, employed the same attorneys for more than one related or closely held entity, failed to adequately capitalize a corporation, including potentially failing to have an equity corporate assets and or undercapitalization of one or more related or closely held entity, used one or more of the defended entities as a shell or instrument for the benefit of a single overarching business venture, such as by using a corporation to enter into contracts that benefit the owner of other related or closely held corporations, with no discernible benefit to the shareholders of the entity being exploited thereby. Concealed or misrepresented the identity of the responsible ownership, management, and financially interested parties of one or more of the defendant entities, use one or more of the defendant entities to procure labor, services, or merchandise for another person or entity, diverted the assets from one or more of the defendant entities by or to a stockholder or other person or entity, to the detriment of and or to defraud creditors, including but not limited to recapitalization of assets under a different corporate form and or moniker, manipulated the assets and liabilities between the defendant entities such as to concentrate the assets in one or more of them while concentrating the liabilities in one or more of the others, contracted with third parties with the intent to avoid performance by use of the corporate entity as a shield against liability. Used one or more of the defendant entities as a subterfuge of illegal transactions and or formed to use one or more of the defendant entities to transfer an existing liability to another person or entity. At all relevant times, plaintiff was jointly employed by defendant who shared authority over and control of the terms and conditions of plaintiff's employment. The true names and capacities, whether individual, corporate, associate, or otherwise, of defendants designated herein and does 1 through 20, inclusive, as an unknown to plaintiff, who therefore sues such defendants by such fictitious names. Plaintiff will amend this complaint to show their true names and capacities when the same has been ascertained. Plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges that each of the defendants designated herein as a doe was in some manner responsible for the occurrence and injuries alleged herein. Plaintiff is informed and believes and based thereon alleges that at all times relevant herein, each defendant was acting as an agent, joint venture, or as an integrated enterprise and or alter ego, or for each of the other defendants, and each was a co-conspirator with respect to the acts and the wrongful conduct alleged herein, so that each of the responsible for the acts of the other is in connection. God, it's too small for me. I'm like having to lean in completely. Oh no, I lost where I was. Plaintiff is informed and believes and based thereon alleges that at all times relevant herein, each defendant was acting as an agent joint venture or as an integrated enterprise and or alter ego for each of the how did I completely lose where I was? Is that the right spot? I think that was. Defendants and each of the co-conspirator with respect to the acts of the wrongful conduct alleged herein, so that each of the responsible for the acts of the other in connection with the conspiracy and in proximate connection with the other defendants. Plaintiff is informed and believes and based thereon alleges that each of the defendants was an agent, managed general partner, managing member, owner, co-owner, partner, employee, and or representative of each of the defendants, and was at all times material hereto, acting within the purpose and scope of such agency, employment, contract, and or representation, and that each of them are jointly and severally liable to plaintiff for the acts alleged herein. Plaintiff is informed and believes, and based thereon alleges, that each of the named defendants aided and abetted, encouraged and rendered substantial assistance to the other defendants in breaching the obligation to plaintiff, as alleged herein, in taking action, as alleged herein, to aid and abet and substantially assist the commission of these wrongful acts and other wrongdoing complained of. Each of the defendants acted with the awareness of his/her primary wrongdoing and realized that his/her conduct would substantially assist the accomplishment of the wrongful conduct, wrongful goals, and wrongdoings. Defendant and each of them also knowingly and willfully conspired to do the acts and things herein alleged pursuant to and in furtherance of the conspiracy. Plaintiff served as a full-time personal housekeeper to the Kleins beginning on approximately December 16th, 2020. She was well regarded during this time with them and fulfilled her job duties without issue, including cleaning the house, doing laundry, making meals, regularly performing errands, and grocery shopping. During her employment, plaintiff suffered from a hernia, of which the Kleins were aware. On June 18th, 2024, plaintiff learned that she would need surgery for the hernia. For her hernia. Must read it word for word. The very next day, June 19th, 2024, at 10 a.m., she notified Mrs. Klein that she would be needing time off for her hernia surgery on July 19th, 2024. Additionally, she told Mrs. Klein that her doctor expected her to need a month of recovery, but that if she felt better sooner, she would return earlier. On June 20th, 2024, plaintiff placed a call to Karen in TFI's Human Resource Department as she was having a problem with her time card login. She notified Karen by voicemail on that date that she would be going out for surgery on July 19th, 2024, and that her doctor expected that she would need a month to recuperate. Shortly thereafter, on June 20th, 2024, only 2 days after plaintiff notified her employer that she needed time off for hernia surgery, Carrie Bish, EDP of Finance, called plaintiff to notify her that her employment was being terminated and that she did not need to return to the house. Days later, as Miss Bish attempted to have plaintiff sign and release, which plaintiff declined to sign, plaintiff pressed for a reason for her termination. Miss Bish responded that her employer was going in a different direction and referenced a problem she had with the Klein's nanny. This reason was pretextual. Defendant terminated plaintiff because she requested time off for her hernia surgery. Plaintiff has exhausted her administrative remedies by filing a charge with and receiving a right to sue letter from the California Civil Rights Department. First cause of action, violation of the Family Rights Act. And then it shows the yada yadas. Okay. Interesting stuff. They explained it pretty well on here. Let's see.
Oh, she came back. Yeah, she came back
with Face Bank.
Yeah, Face Banks.
See, I was interested on this first half because I was wondering why they were suing Teddy Fresh as well. And this whole beginning part is just confusing, trying to combine them as an entity. And I suppose maybe there's an argument if they're like they were doing work out of their basement and I had to sweep up for them. That's doing stuff for their business. But or maybe, I mean, unless they hired them through Teddy Fresh or something, that would be, but I imagine that's not true because that would be really dumb. But unless it's not, maybe you can. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a businessman. But from the way it seems, they're saying two different things, and the fact that they outlined this, it is just all about the context of the time. Because if I'd assume Ethan said that they have.
I'm gonna go to bed.
Did it actually come out?
Yeah,
well, they
she
posted
deleted
it and then they deleted it.
after that. She cried on it, apologizing, and she said that all of the proceeds.
This is not about him getting sued. Blake Lively stuff.
My bad. My bad.
Same as last time. It's not normal to like have your parents move in with you and take care of you. You're doing that.
Oh.
That's what you should be doing. Come on, guys.
Day. Let's do it for a 1 month, $1. So yeah, that's failing to engage in an interactive process. Wah. That's what I hear. Wah. They didn't talk to me. They didn't explain things to me. Well, we did. I'm being silly because it is important, actually.
Yeah.
We did, and it is important.
Thank you for.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, acknowledging that.
Seventh action. Oh shit. Retaliation in violation of California. So we retaliated for her asking time off. Wrongful termination. Damn, they really piled them on. Failure to pay meals.
Well, I read, what was it, 20? There's 20
rest
things.
Period. Okay. Uh-oh. 10th cause of action. Okay, whatever. So yeah, enjoy. If you're a snarker, there's all kinds of shit to sink your teeth into here. So let's do it for even have.
Is that all he talked about for? I remember watching the episode. I'm almost certain that he talked more.
That's
I'm
the
so confused.
That's the end. They go, it's my brother, my dad.
You love.
Come on, love. Work on the
settle. Like that'd be.
Break this up.
No, there's no quarter.
Break down
left
for every
her.
joke.
She gets nothing.
Give us a
Good day,
timestamp.
sir. Good day, ma'am. In the words of Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
You know. So it's just a totally bogus, pathetic lawsuit. And
this is what I was looking for right here, though.
It's gonna be super easy to.
I mean, if you have it all logged and documented,
it's all logged.
The interventions and like having to talk to her about it multiple times or whatever.
Because it would only be contested if they hadn't filed the complaint with HR prior to June 18th or whatever, when she said she would need time off or whatever, when she said she needed time off on June 19th. I will say that if this is the timeline, like if they just like submitted the thing on like June 15th or something, this lady's just super unlucky. But I guess it's like karmic balance, you know what I mean? Like that does suck. If you were like calling this lady fat, you were calling their nanny fat, and then all of a sudden you have a hernia. You're like, I need surgery, I need to do this. And it's like, well, it's too bad. I hate to tell you this, but you're fired.
It sounds like you're in good shape.
It's ridiculous. It's all accounted for. So, and then the weird thing is that, so she filed this lawsuit. My attorneys hadn't even seen it yet. Yet somehow, within 24 hours of her filing this obscure lawsuit, it's on Snark and YouTube Drama.
I am wondering what the snarkers are saying. I am gonna go take a peek see. I don't like looking at it because most of the snark page is just whining. It's just whining. Like honestly, there's hardly anything of substance. Now I have the hiccups. That's my karma. But really, it's just incredible stuff.
Even my attorney was like, how did they get that?
Yeah,
like, were they
how?
just sitting there well, my attorney's like, she knows, and the attorneys know that this lawsuit is going to get absolutely eviscerated by a judge because.
Wait, what? Why do they have a mega thread? They have a mega thread for the show today 24 minutes ago. The show hasn't even started. Guys, come on, guys. To have a mega thread ready is insane. Oh my god. They're just ready, prompted. They're like, we're ready to talk shit as soon as somebody comes in. As soon as they go live, we're dive bombing it. It has 11 upvotes. Jesus Christ. Even 11 people is too many. Hey, that's how many people are in here right now. Is that all the snarkers? Let's go. What's up, guys? But let's see what else. Is it an 8-year low? Oh no. Oh no. Guys, they've only been in Zoomies and a bunch of like, I just hate that people act like it's like they're falling off. I mean, they're a niche street brand. I think most of those brands, like look at Rip and Dip. How good is Rip and Dip doing right now? I would actually like to see that. I haven't looked at Rip and Dip in a long time. He calls her Miss Potato Head. Yeah. Maybe she is. Offers. I showed up on your homepage. Let's go. That's what we call good SEO. All I'm hoping for is that we can get some more traction this way. I'm a big fan of the H3 podcast, and it's ripe for content. It's not just the podcast itself. It's all the goofs and gaffes, all the glory associated. like calling his housekeeper Miss Potato Head. Guys, learn to make clips. A 13-minute clip. They made a 13-minute clip. Just cut out the part where he pulls up the picture of Miss Potato Head. Like, come on, guys. Try a little bit harder.
It's the crew. The crew, yeah. You know, and there's here.
And it's in 2x speed. This is like a 20-minute clip.
Let me see I put out an Instagram statement immediately because I was like, all right, well, let me just at least explain what the fuck this. Yeah. Mexican. Thank you to Adelie. Thank you so much for that dono. In Mexican culture, your family members find your insecurities and make it your nickname.
Yeah, it's true.
That's
the common ones are gordo, which means fat,
Sure,
and then
yeah.
flaco, which means skinny. There's some other ones, but I feel like I can't say them just because maybe it could be translated wrong or offensive. I'm not sure what's offensive in
Do
Spanish.
they for real call people gordo?
Yes, that's an extremely common.
100%.
It's more common with boys. They don't really call girls that.
You can they call girls gorda. They call girls flaca, flaco and flaca for skinny girls. And yeah, it is something that they do. But it's also funny for the thing he was pointing out is that the lady looked like this, but was calling his nanny fat.
During like the frenemies days. So it's basically.
So it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black. Is that what it is? Or the kettle calling the whatever. That saying, whatever. You get it. Ethan laughing at anti-Semitism from a right-wing lunatic, and yet this man cries anti-Semitism. These people have lost the plot. They think we take Jesse Lee Peterson serious. He's like, I think he's a troll. I really do think Jesse Lee Peterson is a true troll. And if he's not, then he's too far gone anyways. Just laugh at it. I mean, it's truly just... His anti-Semitic jokes were great, too. They reminded me of the new Dax Flame video. Dax Flame. Not his new song, but his comedy journey. He talks about self-deprecating humor. Where is it?
I am at a normal. Oh, and then that's all the things I can think of at the park right now. But I know there's a fun. Dax? Yes. Nice to meet you. Dax and 21 Jump Street. The origin comments on it, but.
Come on. This joke isn't going to work if I don't find the bit. It's him doing self-deprecating comedy, and he just goes, "I'm ugly."
TikToks. Driving car.
Dax is the best comedian
and
alive.
I saw a very funny sign there, so now we'll drive there and see if we can make some funny jokes about the sign.
He's so real.
Like.
Oh, here we go.
Like I hate. fun to do all that kind of stuff too. Such a self-deprecating humor would be like I hate myself, that kind of thing. Like, yeah.
That's basically when Jesse Lee Peterson was going, "You're Jewish. Jewish people got big noses. Jewish people like money." It's the same energy for sure. Is this supposed to be like an own? He bought their clothes. That does kind of go hard. Might need to cop. repeatedly yelling bitch at denims while falsely claiming another woman was continuously raped for 50 days and screaming verbal abuse at the chat while making angry eye contact with Olivia, among other. I like that they know who he was making angry eye contact with. It's pretty amazing. Well, to be fair, Vidad, where you live, I don't want to out you, but wouldn't people get arrested for being anti-Semitic? Isn't that kind of how that works? In like most of Europe, I think. Say something crazy, you're going to get locked away. And the part I don't get is people love to talk about free speech. We're just implementing our free speech. Isn't it my free speech to tell you you're an idiot then? They go, you're such a dumbass. That was so stupid that you said that. That's me implementing my free speech. Now I can say I don't think you should say that, and you can say I'm wrong. Fair enough. But it's all up to the platforms that want to promote certain kind of speech. The snarkers are more than insane. It's actually like next level.
So she only has one kid, basically, just me, and I've been in Tajikistan. So
well, if you're looking to add another one, we can talk after the show.
Jesus. See, these are even better than like this is. I feel like how Frogan felt when she was watching herself say that stuff about the army. You know, based. He's not just. Oh no. He hit on some woman. It's also clearly, I mean, I feel like Oliver Tree's probably hit on his own mom. See, freedom of expression is different everywhere. I have heard that different places have freedom of speech, freedom of expression, whatever. But I mean, there's always like caveats. There's always going to be a carve out saying that obviously you can't have hate speech. You can't have people going and yelling bomb in a movie theater or yelling, fire on an airplane. I got those two backwards, but either way. Ethan Klein admitting for supporting Kanye West. Honestly, this is more entertaining than going on the regular subreddit. Like, going on the snark is pretty, like, they're so unhinged that it's kind of amazing. I can't get over this. The mega thread is what got me. There's 8 comments now. Let's see. See, we're waiting for the show too, and they're waiting for the show. We're doing this together, guys. We're all a group. The snarkers are just the idea that a bunch of snarkers are sitting around going, they're starting in 30. And then they have to wait another hour because they're going to be late. I'm surprised they haven't gone. They're pulling out anything. I'm surprised they haven't gone back to trying to say he did blackface. I feel like that's the easiest, like, low blow type shot. And they always forget it. I don't know who Northern Lion is, but I guess Northern Lion is a true snarker. It's that I think Ethan was right when he said that they're basically the biggest fans that they just have to lie for their own moral integrity. And the fact that they just don't, and the fact that they always just try and add the little, well, we understand that anti-Semitism's real. Of course it's happening. But, it's happening every day. But it shouldn't matter because you're a fucking dirty little fucking... it kind of gotta bob and weave there a little bit, my friend. You can't be coming out fully just throwing. Ugh. One sec. I left at I think I left at the perfect time. I didn't see this. Up yours, woke moralist. Bird flu this, bird flu that. I'd rather eat my grandmother's pussy than subscribe to a radical left vegan nonsense.
So
I think I don't know what to think, honestly. This was a beautiful place to leave you guys hanging, so sorry about that. But I don't even know what to think about this. I'd rather eat my grandmother's pussy, insane, than subscribe to the radical left's vegan nonsense. I don't want to be a vegan either, but I don't think I need to do that one to not be a vegan. Hey man, he's looking for any type of meat, you know what I mean? He's hungry.
I think we're having like a kind of just like a disconnect, or not a disconnect, but maybe at an impasse on that idea. But what I'll say, I want to give you a specific example because this is interesting to me. Let's just take this workplace as an example because we're all familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're having like, let's just take this workplace as an example because we're all familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I started my career 10 plus years ago, and I was successful by myself with 0 employees.
Yes.
I made a lot of money. I did well for myself. And then, 5 years ago into
I feel like I
career,
remember this. I know where it's going.
I made the podcast, which obviously you all are watching now. So let's say we go back to 5 years ago when I hired Dan as a freelance. You started as like a consultant.
Yeah, or a freelancer. Yeah.
And obviously you moved to full time, and I'll get to that.
Yeah.
So he started as like a freelance consultant. So what would be a fair way of compensating him for that?
In your situation, it's like, what is the most like socialist way of doing it? Is that what you're asking?
Well, yeah, because that's what we're talking about, right?
It would be profit sharing.
That was kind of a dig. What do you mean, like in like a socialist society? Yeah, that's what I mean. That was the conversation we were having, right? Kind of spit on him with that one. Can't lie.
What
So
that
I
means
just
is
so this is interesting.
Maybe
So hold
Ethan
on.
is a
This
bad
interesting,
guy.
You're right, because
Yeah.
this is
Wow.
actually the most difficult aspect, in my opinion, of like trying to create the most ethical way of existing under a capitalist organization of the economy, while you are also productive, and you're doing like an owned and operated media company where you are the product.
So I hired Dan as a consultant.
Yeah.
Just to help us out to get things.
And I have hired people
unified.
as well.
So then I'm profit sharing with him. How much profit am I sharing with him?
So the way I do it, and I think this will be, I mean, this is instructive for many others as well. The way I do it, like the most ethical way to do it, is basically try to make an assessment. Sure, there's market considerations on the one hand, like what the normal wage would look like, but that is like the minimum. You know what I mean? That is like the minimum. That is the worst possible amount to pay someone in the form of wages, in my opinion.
Okay.
So you have the market considerations on the one side, which I don't necessarily care too much about. On the other side, you have your productive output, right? Let's say you were making $10 before Dan came on, and now that Dan came on, you're making...
That wouldn't be measurable metric.
No, I know. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I know. Which is why I'm saying it's a tricky situation.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
I love that he almost admits right there. That's why I'm saying, like, it doesn't work. But what if it did, though? Because I mean, I think everybody is for social the whole thing is, if you really want to get like really into the weeds, you would only make it work under like a communist worldview where everybody is sharing. But when you have everybody sharing, there will always be those people who don't put in their effort. There will always be those who want to gain control, who think that they can make a better product and thus deserve more for it. And that's fair, obviously. And that's why something like capitalism could work more, but it's about, trying to put caps on it where you can to make sure, because like things like monopolies are bad, but for some reason companies are still able, like, how can like all of the brands that we love be owned by like 5 major companies, and somehow that isn't considered monopolization? It doesn't make any sense. So it's like you gotta tilt it, gotta tip the fence.
Well, technically, the other side is also very cruel, but we just like have
But that's
normalized.
not true, because in social democracy, people are fairly compensated. It's not cruel, in my opinion.
No, there's. I don't think. I think we
People
think
can be
of social
more or
democracies,
more
we think of social
fairly,
democracies.
less fairly compensated, but like generally speaking, they'd be more fairly compensated than what you would see today.
Yes, in comparison to the United States of America, which technically would be a mixed market or social democracy, social democracies in other countries, there is better compensation.
So here's the unintended consequence of that.
Due to regulation, government regulation.
If I'm just hiring Dan to come in and help me with cameras and stuff, and I have to cut him in on profit share, people are not going to hire as many people. They're going to think a lot more before they bring more people on.
Okay, but the reason why I was bringing up the revenue is because let's say you were making you're making $10. Dan comes on, now you're making $15.
Yeah.
Right? Dan has brought in $5 extra of revenue for you, and I think that the best possible way to engage with that would be to cut Dan in on offer Dan living wages plus whatever Dan has brought in the form of revenue.
So here's a big problem.
And that moves into direction like you make, and then later down the line you make $100,000 and
it moves with
now Dan is moving with it as well.
Here's where this seems more like it's a nice theory, but like in application it makes no sense. Who decides how much value he's brought? How could you possibly decide that? If my show is growing, Dan joins, and let's say, I now am making $15, but the show was organically growing. How can I attribute all 5 of that to Dan?
You're absolutely correct on this as well. This is a big weakness.
50-50 with him?
This is something that I do not have an answer for either, which is why,
it doesn't
like I said, you make do with you try to do your very best.
Can I be? This seems like a big problem to say you don't have a solution for if you're advocating for a socialist society.
I agree, which is why I always.
It doesn't seem like it's ready.
If we're talking pure theory, I would rather have an imperfect structure that still absolutely
it's not
offers
imperfect,
better.
It doesn't work.
Well,
if you don't know how people get paid, how does it even work?
The capitalist structure also is imperfect in the exact same way.
It's functioning at least.
Yes, I know, but the idea that like the other structure would not function is not correct. Especially when we're telling you that even under a capitalist organization and economy, there's plenty of different ways of doing this.
But there needs to be
one of the most successful ones that I also have is a cooperative, right? I have a cooperative, collectively organized podcast, for example, where we just.
That is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You mean you share the profits with the other hosts? Oh, your producer makes as much as you? Does he happen to run the entire show probably? Like, I understand. Oh, well, Hassan has... It's just not to the same scale. If he wants to compare that, oh, my podcast is actually cooperatively owned by the producers and the other hosts. What does that even... I just don't...
Split it 5 ways regardless. Obviously, my output in that situation...
You split it 5 ways?
Given that I am...
Who cares?
The host with the largest audience would significantly outweigh my producers, for example, who could be paid with a very fair, very fat...
See, that's not called being a socialist. I feel like that's just called not being a piece of shit. Let's say you have 5 of your buddies. You have 1 million subscribers. Because I was about to say money, but it's not even like a monetary influence. He's saying that, yes, he has more views. What would be the point of saying that you can't... that you would be entitled to more? You are not entitled to more. You are putting in the same amount of work as everybody else. You would only be entitled to more if you were putting in more work. Yes, you are bringing more of an audience. But if they're building the podcast, they're making the podcast, and you are just a host on it, who gives a shit? Yep, Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We love casting spells.
Market wage, right? Market wage plus market wage times 3 is what I could pay.
You might have got some buffering.
It would still be
there?
significantly less than what he gets paid now.
Yeah.
Because we're cutting him in 5
right.
ways. We're splitting everything 5 ways.
Yeah.
And that is a perfectly viable way to do it because
splitting everything 5 ways, dude, that's just such a funny thing. To show me how that works with 100 people. Show me how it works with 20, honestly. Because like he's saying, with the scalability aspect, that's when you're going to start failing. When you start trying to implement scalability. So this is what the podcast is looking like today. I'm sure everybody's already seen it. Reading insane Reddit confessions. That's what we're doing. But yeah, this is it's good, looking good. I'm gonna read which one they picked. Am I an a-hole for suing my parents for my college money? Not the a-hole. My great aunt set up savings accounts for all of her female relatives, and in our culture, education for women is not really valued, and she thought that was bullshit. She lived with her father in London where she was educated. She went on to something. How did they... Wait, what? They came to terms with not the asshole for suing her parents for her college money? Maybe there's a lot more into this. If they put money aside, then maybe she's... Now I'm invested. Now I need to find this.
I started my career.
I might need to look into that after. Really figure that out. I wonder if they'll read it. They might do it on the show. I won't give spoilers. When are they going live? It says 1:30, but we know that this is probably a lie. They have 1,400 people waiting. I saw someone say once, and I was wondering if this was true. I saw one time someone said they wait until they hit 10K waiting. I don't think that's true. I think Ethan's probably on the pot, going 1 and 2. But that's just my guess. Work weed man. Nate's in chat. But yeah, so they're gonna start soon, and I will end it off. But for now, we're just gonna keep going through the Reddit. And like I said, I'm gonna try and do this as a pre-show to every podcast. Just a little waiting room chat, a little place for people to talk, what have you. But yeah. I saw this earlier. I don't know how true this is. Our favorite Yemeni kid has been banned on Twitch after criticism. I would really like to know what the reason was. This company is a joke. It may have taken nearly 16 hours on a business day, but Twitch finally banned Tim Houthi Chalamet. So I saw he was last live 3 weeks ago. Someone needs to figure out if they can hack into Twitch's servers to find the hidden video. Because I am wondering what that stream is. It's just like him sitting on a couch eating chips. That's our best bet. That's all we can hope.
Imagine if Ninja got a low table fade. Imagine if Ninja got a low table fade.
Actual stuff. This is what I was saying though, is that the snark is just funnier.
Racist, like literally. Like he doesn't know what Turkish.
Just immediately getting hit with that one again. I like that that's their best thing happening right now.
I mean, I could take these guys a little bit more seriously if it wasn't for this curly ass shit. Like these fucking double curls.
Yeah, that is disgusting.
It's just goofy.
But also,
again, like you could say it's bad if you want, but again, it's like it's clearly a joke. I don't think that they would post something on their comedy channel just deciding to be anti-Semitic to, while like just it's just so dumb. But it's clearly a joke. But even if it wasn't, we can give them the pass. You know what I mean? They're Jewish. They can say what they want. Jesus, the mega thread Megathread's bumping now in the snark. The hand on chin picture, you mean this? This hand on chin? I think I'm doing pretty well. Is this supposed to be the fun episode with no drama talk? If so, I can skip this one. Why are you guys watching any of them? Why do you watch any of the podcasts? It doesn't make any sense. To watch a full 3-hour podcast that you hate is amazing. Like, I watched the beginning of this Bryce Mitchell one. We got, what? I was like here. I was like 8, maybe 10 minutes in. I'll say I was 10 minutes in. And I had to skip to see that the 20 minutes, I couldn't even make it. I couldn't even make it to the full ascertainment of the idiocy of Bryce Mitchell. It's really beautiful, beautiful stuff. So they've resorted to the bottom of the barrel content that is reacting to fake Reddit stories. Title is reading insane Reddit confessions, creatively bankrupt. But the other part that's funny is they watch every episode, but they don't take any of it in. Because this is clearly them making a reference and making a joke about, because they had talked about it before, Smosh, the Smosh Pit. I actually watched these, and it's about having a bit of a, you don't have to believe everything, you know? It's like reading a book. If I read a book, I'm not thinking about like, how did Dr. Frankenstein bring that monster back to life? Why would I care?
Hello, welcome to Reddit Stories. I'm Shane, and today's theme is family. Notorious for being extremely chill.
But literally, 4 days ago, 1.2 million, and all they do is just they just read some Reddit stories and then go.
Learned a lot, and so I should have been prepared for where he came from to be the place that he would have come from.
And like, you don't have to be at the table for you to want him to stop that conversation.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you being there doesn't stop the fact that he should have ended that.
Right then and there.
Talk about lack of context. We don't know what they're talking about at all.
You don't have to be visiting.
I canceled my monthly family dinner.
It should have been shut down.
Yeah.
But in some family dynamics.
In some family dynamics, and this is very much like the dad speaks, and when the dad is speaking, you don't speak until spoken to. Yeah.
So how did you feel alienated?
Yeah. I'm like, so
This show, best content on YouTube. Next level stuff. But like they've talked about this on the podcast. They talked about how like this is all what we should do. We should just do. And for these people that watch every episode, like this, how is this your post? You encountered an error? Tell me someone blocked me or something. Someone came and saw my video. Nothing? No? Oh, just more posts. Just more comments. Okay. Reminder, only watch if you are a Clipper. Don't give them views. Love you, Clippers. Even to watch the H3 hate channels is like... How do their brains work? This one is the best thread right here. Because I'm wondering... Because I'm surprised they aren't talking shit more. They're kind of just going, this is stupid. Why aren't they saying, during a genocide? That's what they should be saying.
I guess I just talk about the lawsuit because everybody's being annoying.
Racist, like literally.
About it.
Is this all the new stuff? People are barely posting anything. Here, I'll watch this clip in full.
I mean, I could take these guys a little bit more seriously.
I thought he was gonna say I could take these guys in a fight.
Fucking double curls.
Yeah,
That's what I was hoping for.
It's just goofy.
But also, come on, wearing a full suit in the summer.
You know what? Whatever, dude. Whatever they want to do is fine. But the
they
thing that
stink the whole place for everyone.
stink suit, whatever. Okay. The thing.
And that's actually something Ethan hasn't backed down on, and I think he would probably say that again. The Hasidic dudes, and he was talking. This is in Israel, but he talked about it in New York too. That for some reason, Hasidic dudes, it's like it's not even like they smell. It's like they don't wash the suit or something. They're just really like they're keeping it on. They're thinking they're keeping it clean, but they're not.
Puts them, you know, the thing that makes it not okay. Here we got one driving a car. Careful, everybody. Yeah, the thing that not makes it okay is these curly ass, goofy mouth, because it just makes you into a goofy guy. You walk around something like that, you're nuts.
You wouldn't say this. Oh yeah, Ethan? Yeah, Ethan? Say that to BLP Kosher's face. You gonna mock his payas? You gonna mock his payas, huh? He'll walk you down. War. But even so, let's keep it going.
It's like having a rat tail. It's like having two rat tails on each side of your head.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And that was him making fun of Long Beach, people from Long Beach, like his where isn't Ethan from Long Beach, right? That's him making fun of people from Long. My dad's from Long Beach. They all got rat tails out there.
Except you fucking manicure them every day. At least people with rat tails have the decency to just let it sit. But these guys goof with it all the time. We'll get some good footage, hopefully, of these goofy ass rat tail motherfuckers. Power walking pace. Can't imagine power walking without. Here we are in Nebra. And it's the home of the Jew. The Jewy Jew, not just this Jew like, you know, me or Ela, but this is home of the super Jew. The Jew, you know, the dirty, grimy, jacket-wearing Jews. Real dirty ass, nasty nasty, nasty. You know what I mean? It's like, who can look...
It is the you know what I mean part that's getting me. Just ending it with, you know what I'm saying? You're with me, come on. But it's reminding me of this clip.
I'll be crying if I look like that too, bro. That's fucked up what they be doing to y'all. I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. I be saying that's fucked up, like, bro, you probably had the full washing set. Your shit be fire probably if they ain't cut your shit. Fuck it though, bro. It's your life.
I think that is basically the equivalent to what Ethan said. It is officially 1:30. We are gonna see if they make it. Ooh, had a bit of a buffering error. I need to figure this out. I'm having some issues with my internet. If anybody's in the chat right now and can tell me, how has it been going? Have I been buffering and stuttering a lot? I'd appreciate the input. I really would. But if not, then we're cool. Here, we'll talk while this is waiting. I think I'll probably just end it off here then. I still just need someone to let me know before I end it off. No problems at all? Okay, I just keep getting these messages from YouTube. It's like telling me I have excellent connection, but then it keeps telling me like, oh, here's a suggestion. We don't know. So that's good. Okay. I do appreciate it, Prime Asuka. Why does it lie? Why does it lie? Anything new? Anything on the... Here, let's see if they post it on Instagram. Open it in a different window first. I opened up Instagram earlier, and I followed this artist named Tom Bunk. And here, I could actually show this one because it isn't as bad. Tom Bunk posts drawings like this all the time. The other one was crazier. It was a much crazier image. Yeah, but Bunk Tom 45, shout out. They go live. 2 lawsuits in 1 week. Things aren't looking good for Ethan Klein. I was going to make a video about these guys that do the... Let's see if he's still doing it. This isn't as Basquiat as it was. They were doing really Basquiat style paintings. And I think he's a good artist. If you look at some of his older stuff, he has more inspired pieces, which is good. But yeah. I think this is where I'm going to call it. I do appreciate everybody that came in. Go hop over to the H3 podcast now. They should be starting within the next 30 minutes probably. You know how it is. But I will be back again on Friday. I'm going to be doing this I'm going to try to do this for every podcast, so do a little waiting room stream. But yeah, thanks so much. And here, I'll go back to my little room, my little office. I appreciate you very much. And this is Captain Quasar signing off. Whoa, 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 whoa.